Hi, today we're going to talk about what makes a good paragraph and a good way that you can approach writing paragraphs in academic settings. Now, I will say that there are a lot of approaches to writing paragraphs. The one I'm going to show you has various formats. I'm just going to give you like the basic and you can adapt it as you need. It might be something like similar to something you've already seen, but it's a really good way to help you organize your thoughts. Before we can talk about how to organize in that specific way, I do just want to review some things that make a good paragraph. Paragraphs should be organized by your thoughts. And so what I mean is like one thought, one paragraph. In that paragraph, it should be united, coherent, and developed. So it should be all united around one idea, one thought, one point you're trying to make. We call that a topic sentence. It's all united by that, and everything is going to loop back to that idea. And so you can think of that as like maybe like the center of the paragraph. I know it's the first sentence, but like if it was a visual, the center, and then each item of your supporting would be like the petals around it, kind of supporting, making the full flower. It needs to be coherent. So we need to be able to understand it. Is it organized logically? Do you write in complete thoughts? Do you fully explain your ideas, or just kind of drop something here, drop something there, but you don't have connections? That's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that each individual's part is connected through transitional words or phrases or even sentences, and it creates one coherent, logical paragraph. And then lastly, it needs to be developed. So developed means you give enough evidence. You fully develop your ideas. How much evidence is enough? I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't. It kind of depends on the length of your essay or paragraph analysis, the depth of your question. So some questions can be answered really quickly with maybe just 2 pieces of evidence. If it's a more complicated topic or point, or there's going to be a lot of opposition, you might have to have a lot more evidence just to really build that strong paragraph. So we want it well developed. We want it to have evidence. We want you to have thought through all the parts. How much that needs just depends on your topic and length that you're going for. I mentioned this at the beginning of this slide, but anytime you have a new idea, a new topic, you should move into a new paragraph. One paragraph is not the place to cover 2 or 3 different ideas. It gets kind of mushed together. It's hard to follow, and our brains are naturally trained by the time we get to college that every time we see a new paragraph, it can transition. It kind of like shelves what it just read and remembers it, but it's moving into something new. It's just like a new grasp every time. So we want to make sure that when we have a new idea, just go ahead and hit enter, hit the tab button, and start writing your next paragraph as you go. I will also let you know there is no such thing as a required sentence length. Again, this is really dependent on what you're talking about, how complicated the topic is. It really is about what you're doing. I've seen really well written paragraphs be 5 to 7 sentences. I've also seen paragraphs that are 1.5 to 2 pages long. So it really depends on how long your total writing assignment is, how complicated your topic is, and can you keep it organized and pulled together. You might have a paragraph that even though it's one topic, it's hard to keep it organized and coherent, so maybe you break it. And so then you have like a shorter one and a shorter one. Maybe you can't break it or else you lose all thoughts, so maybe you have like a 20 sentence. It just really depends. And we care more about are you coherent, are you developed, and are you unified than we do anything else. Now, these key terms I want to walk you through are the parts to a paragraph, and I think it can be really helpful for you. So the topic sentence is just the first sentence of every paragraph. You can kind of look at a topic sentence as a miniature thesis statement if you're familiar with thesis statements. Basically, it's going to tell me the point or the topic of the paragraph. What is your argument? What is your claim? What is your point that you want to make through this paragraph? Then you're going to alternate between having evidence, so quotes, facts, illustrations, evidence of any kind. So evidence and then commentary. So that commentary needs to come right after that piece of evidence and give your opinion, analyze, interpret, give your explanation between, and then connect that evidence and that interpretation back to your topic sentence. So evidence, explain what that evidence means and how it supports your topic sentence. Then evidence, explain what that evidence means and how that supports your topic sentence. And it just keeps going and building each step like that. And then at the end of your paragraph, you'll get to something called a concluding sentence. And that's typically the last sentence, maybe two, where you kind of summarize your paragraph and transition to the next one. So conclusion sentence, a transition sentence. Those are there to help transition paragraph to paragraph if you're writing more than one paragraph. And if you're only writing one paragraph, it just helps wrap it up, and it's that neat little bow on top of the gift, just that finishing touch that we need. So a flow of a paragraph could look something like this. This is like a shorter paragraph for something that maybe I don't need to have a lot of evidence for. It's pretty straightforward. I'm just making my opinion clear by giving some. I might start with my topic sentence. Well, not might. I will start with my topic sentence. Then I'm going to give a piece of evidence, explain it, analyze it, connect it back. Evidence, explain it, analyze it, connect it back, and then concluding. And I can either transition to my next paragraph or I've just finished my writing there. As you have noted, you can have more evidence than that. This is just the general flow that you would see when you're writing that paragraph. So in this class, this is the format I would heavily encourage you to use because it is very helpful. And it's very concrete, right? You just boop, 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 fill in the blank as you go. This is very similar to things like Topeka. I know some places I've taught something called like ACE or ACEs. They're all very similar forms. It's just a matter of how many layers do you have and how nitty-gritty do you get. So this is a really great approach to academic writing. It works well for any time you have to make an argument or write that kind of informative essay.